Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. Now, there's a topic that I have stumbled across for game discussion, and I've really been having trouble trying to find something to make a video on for a game discussion, but this is something that I feel like I've mentioned a few times, but I really just kind of want to I just want to drive in the point here. And that's the fact that I really think that consoles down the line are just really gonna they're gonna just self-destruct, because the way that I'm seeing it right now, there's really not much of a reason to continue to hold on to a console for a few reasons. And those reasons are, one, they're always gonna change in terms of like upgrading to next gen and whatnot. And two, you're paying to play for online, which is retarded considering that you pay an ISP for internet, so paying to play online is freaking absurd. And finally, every time that you go to a next generation, darn near 80 to 90% of the games that were on the previous generation, you usually can't play again unless you go back to the previous generation, or unless they remaster it and then you have to freaking buy the game all over again. And so what I want to touch on here is the fact that I really feel like there's not really much of a reason to own consoles anymore. You know, like people are already talking about like hype for like, well, I think it's Xbox Scarlet. I know it's PS5 obviously, but Xbox Scarlet I think it's called. You know, people are going crazy and they're talking about how excited they are for it, and I'm just like, I heard that they're going to try and make they want those like game consoles to be a console where it's like you have to be online like all the time, like even just to log into the freaking thing you have to be online and whatnot. Now some people are probably like, oh, but what's the problem with online games? I mean, it's just advancing technology, it's good, people want to play with each other and blah blah blah. And listen, that's all well and good, but crap happens to the internet. Like a power surge can happen. Freaking fiber optic cables can get chewed through by pests and whatnot. Crap happens to the internet. Like what the internet actually is, like a whole bunch of freaking cables across the seabed. That crap can get damaged. Like just think about it. You're gonna have games or a console, an entire console in this case. Just think about it for a moment. That you can't even use because it's not connected to the internet, and not because you didn't pay a bill or something like an internet bill, just because something could have happened to the cables. And now you're just sitting here with a console that you can't even really use. And even if you could just sign into it, all of these darn games these days are trying to have online only access. You know, something that I really feel like a lot of people aren't mentioning is the fact that like there's not even any real reason anymore to hold on to a console. Like I'm not preaching PC Master Race here, but it's really just seeming like you might as well just go to PC these days, because it's like one of the main issues that a lot of people had with PC and why console is more appealing was the fact that, you know, I just buy the game. Excuse me, well, it was the game as well. I get the console and I just buy the game and I play it, right? But now it's like it's different. It's like the same crap like PC. It's like, okay, you get the game, now you got to make an entire freaking account with this crap, whether it's Epic or EA or Activision. Now you got to make an account after account after a freaking account for all of these darn games. So it's like now it just seems like you are on a freaking computer. You gotta make all these darn logins and whatnot anyway. It just seems like you're on a darn computer. So literally all of the pluses to owning a freaking console is just being thrown out of the window over time. So like let's just count the issues going on right now, right? So first of all, they're forcing you to pay to play for online, which you pay an ISP for, so you shouldn't be paying them in the first place, right? Then we transition to the fact that they're not even as simple as they used to be anymore, considering that darn near all the time you have to create a new account for everything, so that's number two. And then number three, whenever the next gen comes out, 9 times out of 10 you are not going to be able to play all of the games that you had from last gen unless they remaster. And then you'll have to buy it again. Because what I realize is that they're not making these games backwards well, these consoles, excuse me. They're not making these consoles backwards compatible for a reason, because they know that you'll probably have less of a reason to immediately start buying games if you can have your entire freaking library from a previous console generation on the new console generation. And they know that. And so that's why like they're not backwards compatible. So in other words, like probably the hundreds of bucks that you spent in games for the past, generation for gaming. You better just be willing to just let that sit there as the next console generation comes out, because they're not going to have backwards compatibility. And people are just getting all hype about it, and it's like, what for? Like, you're just hyped to start over again? Is that it? Like, like it doesn't really make sense to me, because like let's just talk about the fact that like in the next generation, like what's the real advantage here? Like is there really going to be some groundbreaking innovation here, or is it really just going to be better aesthetics, and it runs better? Like, because let's just be real here. Yes, there's a good deal of people that care about aesthetics, but not to the degree that they're just not going to get a game. Like, I shouldn't say that because it depends, but most games these days look decent enough that people are going to put up with it. I mean, look at Destiny 2, for example, right? It doesn't run at 60 FPS on console unless you're like on, what is it, the PS Pro or something, I think. But it doesn't run at that on most PS4s, yet it still sells well. It still looks aesthetically pleasing as it is. So what is the PS5 and the Xbox Scarlet gonna have on it? Just a better graphical appeal? Is that gonna be worth your like 400, 500 bucks? I certainly don't think so. And yet all of these people here are just getting hype over it because, oh, new tech, blah blah blah. I seriously just think that most people are going to get it just because it's the new thing. They're not even like really going to put any thought into it when it comes to, is this even worth it? They're just getting it because it's new. And for me personally, I'm really not seeing the reason to continue to hold on to consoles the way that they are right now. Literally all of the pros about consoles are just being taken from us with all of this freaking, I guess, improvement, like these freaking companies want to call it. All these games as a service and these freaking launchers for games, like all of this crap combined with the fact that these companies are doing everything they can to like milk every single dollar they can out of you, it doesn't really seem like there's any benefit to holding on to consoles anymore. Like, I personally like would love to get a PC and whatnot, but I'd actually need a bit of money before I can buy one and whatnot. But the way I see it now, like, what do you have to lose with PC? I mean, all these games these days have launchers, so, and you got to make accounts for them just like you would on a PC. So why stay on the console? You know. Not only am I gonna have a better store with Steam and whatnot and get it for cheaper prices, but I'm also not going to have to pay to play online. So I'm really just not seeing the reason that I should stick on regular console anymore. I'm really not seeing it. But that's just my little rant on that whole situation. I just saw an article the other day about like about them saying like how excited they are for PS4, not PS4 but PS5 and Xbox Scarlet, and I'm just like, it's kind of strange to me that people are so hyped when they know that they're gonna obviously try and screw us over with with these new consoles. You know, they're obviously gonna rip us off. They're gonna make it so that it's not backwards compatible and whatnot for the game. So it's like, what are you excited for? You know, like you're excited for a console to come out and be insanely overpriced. There's nothing to be this hype over, in my opinion. You should be asking questions like, why the heck aren't they backwards compatible? Why are we still paying for online when we pay ISPs? You know, like, but no one's asking that, and so it's just like whatever at this point. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little short rant on consoles. I know it's kind of like out of the blue, but the gaming industry is just not, it's not interesting to me at the moment. Like there's nothing happening that fascinates me at the moment, because every time you turn around it's either some politician is ripping on games trying to attack them, or it's some freaking controversy, and I'm not gonna dedicate my channel to like gaming controversy. I don't want to be one of those essay channels. So for the moment, the gaming industry is just really not interesting to me personally. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter. Hope you guys enjoyed this little short video. As always, rate the video what you think it deserves. Tell me what you'd like to see in the future in the comments below. Quick update, I will be posting to BitChute. I probably will post my first video there after this video goes up and whatnot. So I'll probably link my BitChute channel either in the community or in the description in this video down below. So check it out if you're interested. And I will see all of you in the next video. Take care.